Of course, all of these executive orders, many more than we expected initially.
Well, Cheryl, I think there's, a couple parts to this, and I think one of them that a lot of people are going to miss is that because there are so many, it's really hard for his critics to focus on one or two and run that up the food chains at a court, in a court setting to challenge these. So not only is it, delivering on campaign promises, I think when you come with this many actions simultaneously, it's really hard for your opponents to put a dent in anything that you're doing. It'll be really hard for the media to pick it apart because there's just so many things coming at them at once. For him to declare the Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations is going to have wide-reaching ramifications. I think this could lead to a turning point in fentanyl and drug trafficking into this country. But the one that I'm most excited about is the body of water you see behind me is now going to be called the Gulf of America.
Well, look, and honestly, Jonathan, there's certainly going to be more energy development judges. Those were traditional GIP priorities. But he wasn't successful on tariffs and immigration control. This time, he comes in the Oval Office, a clear victory that was largely his own. Here we go, Mike Lee.
Yeah, look, I think, the world is changing. Everything is turning. It's not just the policy victory, the vote at the ballot box. There is a cultural phenomena going on with Donald Trump at the moment. And I think you first saw this at the UFC about 18 months ago in Miami when he came out with, Kid Rock and Dana White. And all of a sudden, the arena cheers louder for him than any of the championship fighters. 1 in 4 African-American men voted for Donald Trump, majority of Hispanic men. The world is changing very quickly. The country is changing. And we're now getting back to this stigma that surrounded Donald Trump for much of the last 9 years is going away, where this was one of the most popular people in the history of our country. Celebrity Apprentice, #1 show on TV for a long period of time. You're getting back to that where people actually can just be who they are. They can like Donald Trump for whatever reason they want to, and there's no social pressure against it. And it's a huge change. It's happening right in front of our eyes.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I agree. I think
thoughts on this.
Well, first, I'll just say I think the law forcing TikTok down is an abomination. I think it's a complete violation of our free speech rights. The fact that it went 9-0 in the Supreme Court is terrifying. This means our government can shut down any social media app at any point in time under the guise of national security. I do believe at some point this will be weaponized against Trump supporters the way that a lot of the laws for the war on terror have. That being said, what Trump is essentially saying is that if you were a U.S. company operating in China, the Chinese government will force you into a joint partner, a partnership or a divestiture with a local owner tied to the Chinese Communist Party. And so Trump's firing a shot across the bow to ByteDance and TikTok saying, hey, if you want to be able to operate this, the United States government is now going to be your partner. You're going to share all the data with us.
But
You're
Mike,
going to share all your IP.
Mike, they're not going to sell the algorithm. They're not going to do it. I'm telling you right now, there's no way TikTok is going to give up that algorithm. That algorithm is the CCP's entry into the private data of Americans.
Yeah, well, look, so I think this will be short-lived, this extension, to try to force their hand to see if they'll come and do something. If they don't, you're just kind of delaying the inevitable by not shutting it down today.
Well, Jonathan, your thoughts?
Well,
Banner and Capital Management CEO Sheena Sissel. Also with me is Mike Lee. Thank you for joining both of us right now. Mike, I want to get your reaction to Lauren's report, and that is with regards to the Trump coin and the Melania coin that came out over the weekend. Were you surprised by this?
Very. Very. Meme coins are, I don't know if you could call them a scam, but I think if you did call them a scam, you're not really far off. Like the Dogecoin is probably the most famous meme coin that's out there. If you're a crypto investor and you're a true investor, you probably already know to steer clear of these. And so those of you at home, if you want to, light some money on fire, meme coins are a great way to do it. But look, it does symbol there's a fundamental change going on cryptocurrency right now, where the Biden administration was doing everything they could to throw cryptocurrency entrepreneurs, people starting companies, in jail, shutting down crypto banks. And now that's all going to change. And so we talk about these 200 executive actions. How many of them will be related to crypto? So if you are a crypto investor, you know to stay away from these sorts of things. If you didn't know that, here's your warning. But I do think a golden age for crypto is upon us starting today.
All right, Shada, your reaction. Mike, I do want to ask you about this. We mentioned the LA wildfires in the last hour. They're driving now rental prices in that area higher, and that's prompting worries and multiple reports about price gouging. Realtor.com telling Fox Business some areas of Santa Monica saw a 34% rise in rental prices from the 4th to the 11th of this month. Central Pasadena rentals rising 20% over that same time. Mike, this is a major problem and a little disheartening, to be clear here.
Yeah, look, there is already a massive housing shortage in L.A., and this is just going to make it infinitely worse. Gavin Newsom is out there with an executive order that's only for 90 days, saying you can't sell any property in the fire-affected regions unless it's for a pre-wildfire valuation. I think it's a positive headline for him, but in reality, it distorts the market. I mean, if you know you're not going to rebuild and you need that cash to pay off your mortgage or to somehow move on with your life, you're now stuck. So it's all this government intervention, these government policies in California have put us where we are. It's impossible to build. It's they don't clean up all the brush. This is a multitude of leftist policies all coming to a head, making life horrific for people in one of the most beautiful states, in our country, if not the world. It's really
disheartening. We're going to cover more of this in the next hour. Shana Sissel, thank you. Mike, you're going to stay with us all morning long. Appreciate it. I just want to kind of pick up with the breaking drive to Washington shows you this is a very different inauguration day than what we witnessed back in 2017. The feeling is different. The mandate was put in place in November for this president.
Yeah, look, very, very different. Democrat has to win the popular vote by over 4 points to carry the Electoral College on average. Trump won by 1.7%, so roughly 6 points. He won this election by. That is a massive political mandate. He continues to get more popular by the day. And I think after announcements like this morning, his popularity and his favorability is going to increase much more. And then also doing everything inside makes people who have been nervous about Trump's safety, it just makes you feel better. These are much more manageable places for them to keep the president safe.
Yeah, Grady made, I think, a great point about the inaugural parade today, because it's going to be a little bit different because it's going to be in that arena. But we know the garbage truck is going to be there, which I think is going to be. I mean, there's just so many different moments we're going to see today that are just, it's a very unconventional, but kind of the new way that, the YMCA dance last night, guys. I mean, that was something else, yeah. Right, Mike? Did you watch that, the rally when he was dancing?
Yes. Yes, we just need Trump to wear some McDonald's garb today. Yeah. Maybe a little fry cap and an apron, and then you put the cherry on the cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, obviously, what do you say?
Yeah, look, I am really excited to see what the executive orders are as it relates to cryptocurrency today. Is it Trump going to come out and say there will be no taxes on cryptocurrency because they're not securities, so there's no capital gains? Is he going to create a Bitcoin strategic or a crypto strategic national reserve. I think this is the hype around it. And so, yes, there's meme coins out there, but the possibilities now and looking at a pro-crypto administration, bringing people like David Sachs has to make you believe that cryptocurrency, the best days are way in front of it.
You know, also, Greg, as we look ahead to the second, the retaliation in their minds is the concern from other countries, and that this is a growth wild card in general. Mike, your reaction?
Yeah, so look, the Wall Street Journal, especially the editorial page, has been wrong about Trump and his tariffs going back almost a decade. Okay, it's like a hair on fire exercise every single time any one of these things is announced. But what they're failing to realize, these people that promote this quote unquote free trade only really exists in textbooks and libertarian think tanks. It doesn't exist in reality. And even with all these tariffs, the U.S. will still be the freest and fairest trader in the world. There were no overwhelming negative effects in the first administration from these tariffs. In fact, we saw a manufacturing renaissance and boom. And when they're in conjunction with multiple other policies, it leads to economic growth and benefits for middle-class Americans. So, I give very, very little weight to the naysayers because we've already lived through this.
All right. Well, Mike Lee, I appreciate your commentary. Greg Swenson, always great to see you, Greg. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cheryl.